Welcome to the Rise of the Trades podcast, the show dedicated to helping you to build, grow, and scale your trades or construction business. All rise for your host, Craig Wilkinson.
Welcome to this week's coaching episode of the Rise of the Trades podcast, where we help trades and construction business owners to skyrocket leads, explode net profits without having to graft 60 hours a week and becoming that busy fool. In this episode, I'm going to be teaching you the 3 biggest mistakes that I see all trades and construction business owners making when it comes to social media and why this is hampering the amount of leads that you're generating. But I'm not only going to highlight the 3 mistakes, I'm going to tell you how to fix them mistakes so you can now start to generate an avalanche of new leads. But before we go there, I'd just like to remind you that the doors are now open for you to add yourself to our priority waiting list to get exclusive access to our brand new Trades Freedom Club membership, platform, and secret community. So if you are serious about scaling and growing your business and you want all the help, support, coaching, mentoring, accountability to help you get there, please consider joining our priority waiting list and becoming one of the first 100 founding members when we launch within the next couple of months. The link for you to join the waiting list is in the description and the show notes of this episode. Now, let's transition over to this week's coaching episode. One of the biggest questions I get asked is, Craig, how the hell do you generate so many leads and so much business for all of your businesses via social media? Now, you may well have found this podcast, the Rise of the Trades podcast, because you've seen me proactive across social media. Or you may well have been on social media and seen me sharing the link to these episodes, and now you're listening to these episodes. And that's because I've got a social media strategy that generates seriously an avalanche of leads coming into my businesses every single day. And I believe that you will probably struggle to find anybody that generates the amount of organic leads by using social media. And what I mean by organic is we're not paying for adverts. We're not paying for Facebook ads. We're not paying for Google ads to generate those leads. Now, I'm not saying don't use paid advertising. What I'm saying is 95% of our lead generation comes through organic social media posting. Now, I first joined my first social media platform back on the 12th of January 2010. And that platform was LinkedIn. Closely followed by me setting up my first YouTube channel on the 26th of October 2010. So at the time of recording this episode, I've been using social media platforms for 14 years plus to help me generate leads. And now, of course, it's not just LinkedIn and Facebook. There are so many other social media platforms that we use to help us to generate more leads. So all the way back in 2010, when I stumbled across this platform called LinkedIn, that was more of a B2B, and still is, in all honesty, a B2B platform, I jumped on it, I started using it, and back then I started generating leads for my construction company, which then led me to setting up the YouTube channel and getting into video marketing back in 2010. So my first video was added into my YouTube channel on the 26th of October 2010. And back then, I'd already started to understand how SEO worked for websites, and I just applied the exact same tactic to my YouTube videos, and then we started ranking for our YouTube videos that then started to generate us more leads. Now, since then, obviously, strategies have changed dramatically with how you use social media. But nevertheless, I've always been at the forefront of new platforms, new technology, as it is now AI. And we've used these platforms and technology to generate my businesses millions of pounds worth of sales. And then back in 2012, I started sharing all my strategies with other trades business owners, and I've done for the last 12 years. And now on my Inner Circle marketing and business coaching program, we spend 5 full months working on marketing strategy, and 2 months consistent is all around social media, because your social media presence is so important to your business to get your brand awareness out there, to get people to know you. Because right now, you could be the best plumber, electrician, joiner, tiler, plasterer, scaffolder, brickie in the world. But if not enough people know you even exist, you're going to struggle to generate more leads and scale your business. Likewise, we want more people to get to like you. You, the business owner, the person that's heading this business up. Because the more people we can get to like you, the more chance you've got of generating more leads. We've also got to get people to trust you. Because you might well say that you're the best at what you do, but if you've got no social proof to back up that you are the best, then everything you're saying is just hearsay. And all of this content that we create around these different areas, we're going to share across social media. And in doing so, it allows our target market to find us. It allows our target market to get to know and like you as a person. And it also gets our target market to trust that you and your business can solve the problem that they've got. And during these 5 months of marketing strategy that I take my members through, one of the big areas that we focus on is what I call an attract strategy, which is basically what is all the different marketing angles we can come at to market our business and become a magnet. Because if we're creating the right content and we can become a magnet, we are going to start to attract our target market in the highest concentration to our business. Now, we use over 30 different attract strategies within my businesses. Everything from websites, landing pages, funnels, lead magnets, email marketing, SMS marketing, this podcast that you're listening to right now, video marketing, paid advertising, it goes on and on. But I'll tell you now, the most powerful form of all of that builds that know, like, trust and confidence in your target market, and a platform that's absolutely free and doesn't cost you a penny, is social media. So my question to you is this: when I'm creating all of this business and all of these leads for my businesses, and I'm teaching other trades business owners to do exactly the same, and now when they put the strategies in place, that's exactly what they're doing. My question to you is, How many leads are you bringing into your trades or construction business every single day? Not from time wasters and tire kickers. We don't want them. I'm talking about warm leads or pre-sold, ready to buy leads and customers that want your product or service to solve a problem that they've got. Because in my honest opinion, in today's day and age, when we've got this incredible free platforms like Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, not Twitter now, is it? It's X, Threads, Snapchat, if you want to use Snapchat, YouTube, Spotify, like you might be listening to this podcast on, right? When we've got all these platforms that are free, why the hell in today's modern day and age are you not generating leads every day on tap coming into your business? And having worked with, helped and coached over 30,000 trades businesses, I can tell you what the three main reasons are, the three big mistakes, the three killers that are preventing you from generating an avalanche of leads coming into your business are as follows. Grab a notepad, grab a pen, get your tablet out and start making notes. So, mistake problem number one is you've got absolutely no idea and you are not crystal clear on who your target market actually is. You think you might know who they are, but you've not been laser focused and you don't know who your bullseye target market is. Therefore, you're creating content, putting it out there that's not appealing to your target market. Number two, you're creating the wrong content in itself. If we're going to get people to know, like, trust us and build confidence up in our business and ourselves, we've got to be creating content that does that. And for many of you, what I see going out there is content that's boring. It's no different to anybody else's, and people have seen it 1,000 times before, so they switch off. Number three, you're posting at the wrong time of day. You're basically getting your phone out your pocket, maybe taking a photograph of what it is you're working on that day, banging it on Facebook, banging it on Instagram stories whenever you get 2 minutes. But that is not when your target market is online in the highest concentration. So it's landed on deaf ears. So the three mistakes you're making is, number one, you don't know your target market. Number two, you're posting the wrong content. And number three, you're posting the wrong content at the wrong time to a target market that's not even interested in what you're selling. And by winging it with no social media strategy in place, what's happening is you are wasting so much of your valuable time. Remember what I teach you on these episodes. You've only got 168 hours in a week. So the time that you are creating content, sharing content, engaging on content across all of these platforms has to be worth your time. But for some of you, you're wasting your time because you're creating the wrong content. Or you're constantly trying to ram and sell your products and services down people's necks. You're basically selling all the time. You might not be saying, listen, buy my boilers, buy my fuse boards, buy my loft conversions. You might not be saying that, but because of the type of content you're putting out there and the crappy call to actions like give me a ring on my mobile number, right? All that lot is classed as selling. And you may well be doing too much of that type of posting, and therefore you're turning people off, not turning people on. And all this lot is sending out the wrong marketing message. And when you get the marketing message wrong and your content's wrong, and we start to land on deaf ears and we start to turn people off, then this is not enhancing your company and business brand or your personal brand. It's actually having the opposite effect. People are getting annoyed. They're getting pissed off. They've seen this 1,000 times. Oh, it's so-and-so again. And what has he done? He's put another picture of another boiler is installed. I mean, how unsexy, unless you're a plumbing and heating engineer, is a boiler on a wall shared on social media? I mean, come on. It's not the sexiest of topics and subjects, and who wants to ever buy a boiler? Nobody wants to buy a white box that gets shoved on a wall behind a cupboard. So why you keep putting photos of boilers out there like it? Are you with me? And when we start to do this, we're actually killing your own algorithm. And what I mean by that is your social platforms, they want to see engagement on posts. And if they're not seeing engagement on posts, no likes, no shares, no comments, nothing like that going off. If they're not seeing a decent amount of engagement on your posts, and you're not using all the different features that you've got on these different platforms, such as you go on Facebook, you've got posting on your personal profile, posting on your business page, posting on stories, posting on reels, putting videos out there, doing Facebook Lives. All of these different features need to be used. The platforms want you to use all the features. And if you're not using the features and you're not getting any engagement on your posts, that's like sending a signal back to whatever platform you're on, basically saying, right, my content is crap. Nobody's engaging in it. It's not entertaining. It's not valuable. People are scrolling straight past it. So therefore, my content is crap. And that's the signal that you're sending back to the algorithm on whatever platform if you are not getting plenty of engagement on your content. And therefore, let's say for argument's sake, it's LinkedIn. LinkedIn's going to look and go, hang on a minute, Joe Blogs has now put 5 posts out, and out of them 5 posts, he's had about 5 pieces of engagement. Therefore, their 3,000 LinkedIn connections that they're connected to, I am not going to keep pushing this content, this crap, boring content out to their followers, because that's having a negative effect on our platform. And therefore, we're not going to sell more advertising. So what I'm going to do is, when Joe Blogs puts his next post out, even though he's got 3,000 LinkedIn connections, even though he's got 10,000 subscribers on YouTube, even though they've got 25,000 followers on Instagram, I'm only going to show their next piece of content to 60 people. And if nobody engages out of that 60, next time he puts a post out, we're going to show it to 50. Are you with me? So by you not putting out content to your target market that's engaging at the right times for them to engage on, you're actually killing your own algorithm. And then what starts to happen is, you get frustrated that you're using social media and you might be shooting and editing videos in CapCut and putting your captions on and all this lot and spending an hour editing a video, and then you put it out there and it just lands on deaf ears, and then you say, what's the point? I'm creating all this content, I haven't got time, I'm a busy person, and I'm putting this stuff out there and it's not getting any traction, I'm not getting any leads. And what you decide to do is, I'll tell you what I'll do. I've seen this boost your post. I can pay X amount of pounds to boost a post. And maybe if I boost my post, I might get an avalanche of leads. Come on. Seriously. I'm not saying boost post can't generate you a lead, but flipping heck, if you engage your own algorithm and put the right content out at the right time to a target market that wants to see it, you don't have to be prattling around trying to boost posts and wasting your money. Or even worse, do you know what? I'm going to throw some money for the next couple of months at Facebook ads. Let's try some Facebook ads, and let's keep us fingers crossed that what we're going to do on Facebook is going to work. Let's hope and pray it works. And you stick 1,500, 2 grand into Facebook ads and it falls flat on its arse. Of course it's going to, because you haven't got a strategy. Does this make sense? So all that's happening now is you're feeling frustrated that you end up wasting time on social media and that you've wasted money maybe on ads or boosting posts that never worked. And then you're looking at other people and you're going, hang on a minute, how comes these are getting loads of interaction? How comes these look like they're getting loads of business from social media? Well, that's because they've got the different strategy. And they're not winging it and making it up as they go along, throwing all this rubbish content out there, hoping and praying that somebody sees your post and leaves you an enquiry. So in the next chapter, I'm going to tell you, or you're going to hear from me, exactly what to do to fix these 3 mistakes. And if you stay tuned to the end, I'm also going to give you some bonus tips that if you bolt on to this strategy is going to increase the amount of chances of you generating an avalanche of leads. One of the first mistakes that I see when I look at people's profiles, whether that's a business profile, maybe on a Facebook business page, or certainly on personal profiles, maybe a personal Facebook, is this: the branding of the actual page or profile, in my opinion, is not quite right. Now, I get that most people will brand up their business page. It might be a business page on LinkedIn as well, with their logo and some branding on there, and the cover image at the top describes what it is they do for a business. I get that. But what I teach my inner circle members is this: you will win so much more business from your personal Facebook profile than you ever will your business page. Now, I'm not saying business pages aren't important, because you can't run Facebook ads without a business page. And a lot of people, if they do find you, let's say on Facebook, they'll probably want to go and check out your business page anyway. So you need that. But in all honesty, you will never generate an avalanche of leads coming through your business page. I'm not saying you can't win business through it, because you can. We do. But nothing compared to, like, say, my personal profile or Facebook groups or LinkedIn groups, as an example. You will win so much more business from your personal profile and fishing inside groups where your target market hang out than you ever will your business page. So I accept your business page is going to be branded up. I get that. But what I'm saying is this. Let's say, for argument's sake, you're posting on, let's just use Facebook as an example. Let's say you're posting some business stuff on your personal page, or you might share a post from your business page onto your personal page. That means that your personal page is being used as a lead magnet to generate your leads. Now, what I teach my inner circle members is this. Do you want me to teach you how to generate leads from social media? Or are you going to have a limiting belief that, oh, Craig, I don't want to use my personal page on Facebook, let's say, to generate leads, because that's personal to my friends and my family and to people who know me, and I don't want to mix business with pleasure. And I'm saying, yeah, but you're already mixing business with pleasure, because you've just shared a post from your business page onto your personal page. Or I've seen some photos of some jobs that you've done recently on your personal page. So you're already doing it. So why don't you put your personal page on steroids, right? and generate more leads through your personal page, because you've got more people getting to know, like, and trust you and seeing your content on your personal page as you have your business page. So what I say to you is this: make sure that your branding is consistent across every single platform, whether that's a business page or platform or a personal one. You've got to have your business on it. If you want to win business, if you want me to teach you how to win business from social media, I'll tell you what to do. But if you're not going to go away and take these strategies and put them in place, then you're going to limit the amount of leads that you can get in. So what I say to them is, have an open mind, and here's what I want you to do. And I want you guys to do this as well. For any profiles that allow you to add a cover image at the top of the page, and what I mean by a cover image is you can upload an image, like on your business page, on Facebook, right at the very top, or on your personal profile, right at the very top, or on LinkedIn, right at the very top, or on YouTube, right at the very top, you get a cover image. Now, you don't get cover images on platforms such as Instagram and TikTok, but for the platforms that do allow you to add a cover image up there, even if it's your personal Facebook profile, I would encourage you to have an image of what it is that you do for a business. So if you're a joiner like me, have a picture of you putting a hip and pitch roof on and first fixing. If you're a heating engineer, have a picture of you fixing a boiler. If you're a sparky, have a picture of you fitting a consumer unit. If you're a plasterer, have a picture of you skimming a ceiling, right? Because if we're going to use these to generate as leads, when people look at our profile, right, we instantly want them to think, oh, he's a joiner, he's a plumber, he's a plasterer. I know what he does. Whereas when I go onto a lot of people's profiles, because they're personal profiles, they've got pictures of them fishing, or them on their wedding day, or them with the kids on holiday, or them walking the dog. Are you with me? Now, I'm not saying that's wrong. What I'm saying is, if you were to replace that picture with a picture of what it is you do for a living, instantly, without even having to read anything or do anything on your platform, on your profile, they know what trade you are. And then if you wanted to add your logo to it and maybe put a website address on it, then go for it. Because we need to turn these profiles into behaving like a website. Are you with me? Now, on a website, when you go to your website and you look right at the top of your homepage, what have you got? You've got a picture, an image, and that image represents what you do for your business. And then it's normally got like a title or a heading over that image. And this is why I'm saying put a title on, put your logo on, put your website on, right? So it's acting like the homepage of your website. And then what happens on a website is, usually top left-hand corner, you have a logo, your business logo. Well, if you look at platforms such as Facebook again, or LinkedIn, as well as having that cover image that describes what your business does, the position of the profile picture that you can upload of you, right, acts as though it's your logo on a website. So it's great that you might want to have a profile picture of you on your personal profile, right? On the back of an Harley Davidson, dressed up as Emu, drinking a bottle of Jack Daniels because you're on your mate's stag do, right? But if anybody's looking at that and they're interested in what product or service you've got, it's not the most professional, is it? So what I always say is change the cover image at the top to something that represents what you do in your business. Change the profile picture to a smart picture of you with your embroidered workwear on, smiling, yeah? And at least when people land on effectively your social media website, they can instantly see what it is you do. Then what I want you to do is you're allowed to link websites to different platforms. So if you go to Facebook as an example and go into your about setting on your personal Facebook, you can put about 5 or 6 different links back to different places on your personal profile. And what I encourage you to do is put your website URL on there. Put any other social media platforms that you might want people to go and check you out on. Put your YouTube channel. When you look at mine, I've got my websites, I've got this podcast linked up, I've got my Facebook groups linked up, I've got a waiting list for my inner circle linked up, all on my personal profile. And the reason why we need to fill out all these different URL links is, remember, if we're going to be starting to treat our platform as a website, when you go to someone's website, at the top of the website, there's normally some header bars where you can click different tabs, which will take you to different pages. Well, it's the same with this. You need to put links in where people can click different links and be sent to different pages, i.e. sent to your website, sent to your vetting form. Are you with me? Now, on Facebook, as an example, you can put lots of links, but then you might go to a platform such as X or TikTok, and you're only allowed to put one URL link into your bio. So given the fact that we want to get as many links in there as we can, so our potential customers can go and check us out on different platforms and do as much research on us as they can, I want you to go and check out this tool, right? It's called bio.link. Bio.link. And what BioLink allows you to do, it allows you to create like a one-page website, like a one-page landing page, where you can brand it up yourself with all your logos. And then what it does, it allows you to add to that page multiple different links and multiple different descriptions to them links and multiple different images to promote all the different places that you might want to send your target market. And what it does then is it gives you one BioLink URL, and it's that one BioLink URL that you would put on X or put on TikTok. And when they click that one link, it sends them over to a branded page where they can click multiple different links where you want to send traffic to in your business, such as I've already said, websites, vetting forms, YouTube channel. Maybe you want to show your other social media platforms. Maybe you've got a lead magnet that you give away, like the top 10 mistakes people make when fitting a boiler, right? And then they go into your email marketing campaign. You can put as many different links on there as you can. And guess what? Bio.link is free. Now, there's another one, which has been around a bit longer. It's called Linktree. So some of you might have heard of Linktree, but we use bio.link and it's brilliant. That way, anybody who lands on any of our platforms can click one link that opens up a page with multiple other links. So we can then give them a choice of where our traffic is sent to. So if we want to generate more leads, we've got to make sure that we're making it really easy and simple for anyone that stumbles across or searches to find our profile as a business or us personally. We want to make sure that as soon as they open our personal profile or our business profile, bang. It tells you exactly what we do, who we are, who we help. Oh, I can click this link and get a free quote. And then all of a sudden, you've driven traffic off of your social media platforms back to your ultimate sales tools, such as your website, to get a free quote. But the amount of business owners that are out there that haven't got their personal profiles set up like this, or even the business profiles. And I think, flipping heck, if I were a customer now wanting a joiner, right, and I've landed on your personal profile on Facebook, and I can't see that you're a joiner at all. There's no image that describes it. There's no URL links for me to click. There's nothing to do with joinery on your personal page. That might be somebody in your local area that's looking for a joiner, but because you've not set it up right, they don't even know you're a joiner. And this is compounded when we look at our Trades Freedom Club Facebook group. Because when you apply to join our free Trades Freedom Club Facebook group and community, we ask you a series of questions, 3 questions. And these questions are designed to make sure that the answers tell us that you are a tradesperson or a construction business owner. Because as you know, our Facebook group is just for trades and construction. But we get so many people like web designers or accountants, for an example, or financial advisors whose target market are tradesmen and tradeswomen that are trying to sneak into our group. Now, we heavily police our Facebook group, and the reason why our Facebook group is so safe and thriving is because we police who comes into it. And unless you're a trades business owner, you will not get in our group. Now, the only way we can tell if you're a business owner in the trades or construction industry is by looking at your personal profiles. So even though somebody might answer all the questions that says, what trade are you? And they put, I'm a plasterer. And then we'll say, what's your business name? And they might say, CW Plastering, right? So although we're asking those questions, people lie. Web designers will tell us on them questions anything to get into the group. So the only real way we can check to see if they are legit and bona fide is by looking at their profiles. And when we go to look, or when my team go to look at the profiles, I'd say 8 out of 10 of them, we cannot find anything on their personal pages that tell us what it is they do. And I'm sat there thinking, how do these people win business from social media? If you can't even tell people what you do on your personal profile so you can generate more business, why leave it completely blank? It's beyond me. So even though many of the people who apply to join our Facebook group may well be a tradesperson, they may well need our help and support, but because there's no evidence that they are a tradesperson anywhere on the profiles, we don't let them in. We delete that request. But they could need our help. But how are we supposed to know? Well, it's the exact same with your potential customers. How are they supposed to know what it is you do if you're not presenting and showing them what it is you do? Now, relating this back to websites, you wouldn't send a website live half built. You won't send a website live with no image at the top, or without a logo, or without any links to any other pages on your website, or any images or videos of you doing what you do in your business. You wouldn't do that, would you? Yet, for 80% of people using social media that's running a business, that's what you've done. You've sent your social media profiles live, only half-baked. There's so many things that are missing. And because of that, you are missing leads. So what I want you to do, listen, it's up to you whether you want to do it. It's no skin off my nose. I'm telling you, it works. You go to my inner circle members and ask them, it works. If you want to generate more leads off social media, before you even post anything, you've got to have got your platform set up correctly with all the right information on, all the links, all the images, all the descriptions. Everything's got to be on there to make it easy for people to see what you do. Oh, what's this link? Oh, they click the bio link. Oh, they've got a YouTube channel. Oh, I can get a free quote. Oh my God, I'm after a boiler. They do the top 10 mistakes people make when choosing a boiler. What's that? They click it. Before you know it, they're on your website downloading your guide. Remember, we're going to drive traffic off of social media back to your ultimate sales tools. But how are we supposed to get them back there if they don't even know what you do and there's no links to send them back there in the first place? Now, when it comes to branding, I'm absolutely obsessed with branding. Because if you don't get your business brand right, or your personal brand, and what I mean by your personal brand is you. Remember, people don't buy from a logo. When you go to do a home or site survey, your logo don't get out at van, does it? No, you do. When you go and do the job, it's not your logo carrying tools in, is it? It's you. When people decide that they want to use you as a business, they're not talking to your logo. They're not negotiating with your logo. They're negotiating with you. You're the one that they're buying from. So your personal brand has got to be brought into your marketing strategy and into social media. And finally, the third brand is your brand authority. In other words, why should people use or choose you over the other three quotes that they've had in? And not everybody's going to choose based on price. If you get your target market right, price is not an objection. They don't want the cheap job. They want a good job and they're prepared to pay for it. So it's not about price. It's what differentiates you, your branding as a business and you personally, your brand authority. Why are you more authoritative? Why should they choose you over somebody else? Now, these three brands are incredibly important to put into place in terms of marketing, because if you get the branding wrong, you're going to turn people off before you've even had a chance to speak to them based on your brand. So what I'd like you to do, I'd like you to go back at the end of this episode and listen to episode number 20. And in episode 20, I share with you how to build these three business brands so that the foundation of your business, your branding, your name, your fonts, your colours, you personally, how you look, how you dress, vehicle you pull up in, all that lot has a massive effect on how much you can or can't charge that customer. Because if you've got a cheap looking brand and you come across cheap personally, then guess what? You can't afford to charge high prices. That's like going to shop at Poundland and having to pay on average £100 per product you buy, not a pound. There's a disconnect. It's never going to work. So if you're at the medium to high end in terms of delivery of service and products and pricing, your brand has got to look like Rolls Royce. Your brand's got to look like Hugo Boss. Your brand's got to look like Rolex. And sadly, for most of you, even though I know it's your baby, it's your business and nobody likes the business being criticised, a lot of people's brands are awful. They're awful. So if you want to know how to sort all them brands out, please go back and check out episode number 20. Okay, so I said the first big mistake people are making is they don't know who the target market is, right? Now, assuming we've got the right branding and our profiles are set up correctly from a standing start. So we know that anybody that lands now on our pages, on our profiles, whatever platform they're on, we know that it looks like a website. It looks like the website's been built right. It's gone live, and so does our social media platforms. The branding is consistent. What we need to do is we need to pinpoint exactly who our target market are and where can we find them in the highest concentration, and at what times of day are our target market actually online. Now, here's the thing with most business owners. You think you know who your target market is, and if I were to say who's your target market, you'd probably give me 2 of the 9 characteristics that goes into putting together your target market. But you'll not know exactly who it is. So if we do not know exactly who our target market is and where we can find them, it means that we're not going to create the right content with the right messaging to call that target market out on social media. Because when we understand who they are, and when we understand that they're not buying a product or a service from you, what they're buying is a solution to a problem that they've got. Think about it. Nobody wants to buy a boiler, right? Nobody wants to spend $3,000 on a white box that's shoved behind a cupboard. They don't want to buy a boiler, but they need the heating and they need hot water. And without that, they're going to experience pain. So once we understand what that pain point is, and we understand who the target market that pain point is aimed at, all of the copy, all of the images, all of the videos, all of the podcasts like this that we create as part of our attract strategy has to be speaking directly to that target market, right? Like we're punching them on end at nose, saying, take notice of us. And if we know they are, and we are creating the right content, and we're putting the right content in front of them at the right times when they're online, then they're going to start to take notice. And without knowing this, we're creating content and just banging it out at random times to a random target market. And because over the years, let's say, you've accepted LinkedIn requests from just about anybody, or you've accepted friend requests from just random people that you don't know, or you're just going and following random people on Instagram and TikTok that aren't your target market, right? This means it's a scattergun approach, which means, yes, your followers are building, and yes, your LinkedIn connections are growing, but you're accepting people into your world that aren't your target market. And I hear people saying to me, Craig, I've got more followers than you. And I say, maybe you have. I've not got the world's biggest following. Combined, I've got 100,000, right? 100,000 followers. So I've not got the biggest following. But I tell you what, I'm guessing that out of them 100,000, 90,000 are my target market. And there might be 10% of them that slip through that aren't my target market. But the vast majority of people that I accept friend requests, LinkedIn connections, I'll look at their profile. And if I cannot see that they are a tradesman or woman in the trades or construction industry, I do not accept their request. Why would I? Because the likelihood is they're only trying to connect with me because it's on LinkedIn and I'm their target market and they want to sell to me. Or on Facebook, they've gone, oh, what friends have we got in common? Oh, mutual friends. Oh, I'll send this Craig Wilkinson guy a friend request because he knows my mate who I ain't seen for 25 years. What's the point in all that? I'm using social media to help generate me leads for my business. I'm not using social media to be one of these attention seekers and these Z-less celebrities and all that lot. I'm not interested in all that nonsense. I'm using it because it helps build my company brands and my authority, and it helps generate my business's leads. So I'm only going to accept friend requests, LinkedIn connections from my target market. Because I know that if I put the right content out at the right times and that appeals to that target market, right? If I do that, then my content is going to get engagement. And because my content's now getting engagement, the algorithm's going to kick in and go, wow, every time Craig Wilkinson puts some content out, whether it's a video, whether it's a podcast, whether it's just a normal post, every time he does it, he gets engagement. Therefore, people must like his content. Therefore, I'm going to push his content out to more of that 90,000 following. You see what I'm saying? But I do that because I know who my target market is specifically, and therefore I accept them into my world, or I might reach out to them. But I don't connect with people that aren't my target market because it's going to water down my algorithm. And a great example is me speaking to you and you listening to me now. Because however you've ended up finding this podcast, and maybe it's your first episode you're listening to, and if it is, welcome to my podcast. Thanks for listening. But we know from our analytics that every single week our following is growing. It grows every single week. And why is it growing? It's growing because I'm only marketing this podcast to my target market. And this podcast, as I've said at the beginning of every episode, is for trades and construction business owners. I'm calling you guys out. I'm calling you out as my target market. And I'm also very cleverly being honest with you, which is, you know I am. I'm hitting you with pain points all the time on these episodes. Why am I hitting you with them pain points? Because let's be honest, you've got problems in your business, you've got challenges, you've got obstacles that you need to overcome. And if these podcasts, even though you can't see me, you might have never met me before, if these podcasts are helping build know, like, trust and confidence that Craig Wilkinson and the Trades Freedom Club can solve the problems that you've got, such as no direction, you ain't got a business plan, you're not generating enough leads, you're not making enough profit, you've not systemised your business, you can't find trustworthy, reliable, honest labour. If I can, in these episodes, build a relationship with you to a point where you know that I can solve all them problems, then maybe one day you might reach out to me and say, Craig, I need some help. So the fact that you keep coming back and religiously listening to these episodes every week, or religiously show up in my Facebook groups every single day, or you join my inner circle, or you add yourselves to my waiting lists, or you're downloading my free lead magnets, the fact that you're doing that means I'm building up that relationship. But how is it starting? It's starting by me identifying who my target market is and how can I attract them to my business. Now, when I said that you might know one or two parts of your target market, I alluded to that there's 9 characteristics that you need to identify your B2B, your business-to-business target market. So you might be a plastering contractor and you want to work on commercial jobs. So you want to get in with house builders or facilities management companies or major contractors, right? So it's business to business. Or you might be a joiner or a tradesperson like me, and it's domestic work. So you want Mr. and Mrs. Jones or one of your neighbours as one of your customers. Either way, B2B or B2C, there's 9 characteristics that you've got to understand and work out to identify who your target market really is, once and for all. Now, again, at the end of this episode, I want you to go and check out episode number 11. Episode 11. Because in episode 11, I spend the entire episode sharing with you these 9 characteristics and how you work out your B2B and your B2C target markets. So I'd suggest that you go and have a listen to that. And point number 1 of this is sort your branding out. Point number 2 is go and identify your target market based on what I show and tell you inside episode number 11. Mistake number 2 is the content you're creating is not appealing to the followers or your target market. Now, make a note of this, right? There's only 2 reasons why I share content on social media, right? These are the 2 reasons. Number 1 is to get engagement. Yes, I know we want leads. I get that. That's the outcome of using social media. But actually using social media, I want to generate engagement on my posts, because if I can't engage people, if I can't build any rapport up, if I can't build any trust up, if I can't build a relationship up on social media, I'm not going to get the lead anyway. So the first stage is, right, every single piece of content that I create or my team create, the first question they ask themselves, or ask me, is, right, Craig, you've created this piece of content now. Have a look at it. Is it engagement? Is it engaging? Would you, if you saw that, stop the scroll, because that's what we call it, as people are scrolling, they've got no idea what's coming next. So we've got to make sure that, wow, what's this? Something's appealed to them, whether it be the image, the video, the copy, something's appealed to them that stops them in that scroll. That's exactly what we've got to do. And if we can stop them in that scroll and we can engage with them by them you leaving a like, a share, a comment, and we're present in their lives for that split second, then we're starting to get engagement. So number 1, the 2 things are, number 1 is the content has got to get engagement. And if I write a post out, I'll look at it, and sometimes it might take me 5 minutes to write it, and then I'll look at it and I'll say, right, is this content going to get engaging? Is it going to stop people scrolling? Is it going to get people liking, sharing and commenting? And if I look at it, sometimes I'll go, actually, no, it's not. I could do a lot better than that. So rather than just whacking it out anyway, I can't afford to do that because my algorithm's going to have a negative effect. So what I'll do is I'll delete it and I'll rewrite it again to make it more compelling. So number 1, engagement. Number 2 is branding. And what I mean by that is I ask myself, if I put this post out there now with this image of me on it, how is it going to affect either my personal brand or my business brands? Because a lot of the time, you can offend people. You might not think you are, but you can offend people by what you're talking about or what you're showing. And rightly or wrongly, on social media, people are going to judge you. But they can only judge you based on the content that you put in front of them. So if you're putting content out there that's not engaging, and nobody in a million years is going to leave a comment on it because you've given it no thought whatsoever, you just banged it out because you've got 2 minutes while you're having a cup of tea and a sandwich in your van, you've not thought about it, it's not going to get engagement. And 2, is that image, is that video, is that post going to cause diversion in the people that are stopping and looking at it? Is it going to cause a debate? Is it going to cause an argument? Because if it is, half the people are going to agree with you on that argument, debate, and the other half are going to disagree. Well, if they disagree with you, is that having a positive or negative effect on you personally in your business? The answer is no. So I always refrain from putting content out there that somebody might look at it and judge me, that's a negative judgment on me or my businesses. Does that make sense? Now, I'm telling you this because obviously we're trades and we like a bit of banter, don't we? And sometimes our language can be a bit strong. But I was literally scrolling through other day, and this were on Facebook, and I saw this post that were effing this, effing that, talking about illegal immigrants and politics and proper having a rant. Now, I'm not saying they're right and I'm not saying they're wrong, but when I looked at it, I'm like, ooh, he was called Rob. I'm not going to gear any more than that. He was called Rob. And I'm like, who's this Rob? Who on earth's gone and had this rant like this? And when I clicked on his profile, it took me to his profile, and he'd actually done the right thing, to be honest. His banner image at the top showed his business. And he was a roofing contractor. And I'm like, and he's got his link to his business page, Facebook business page, and his link to his website. But I'm thinking, hang on a minute. The language you're using, the political side that you're on, and what you're saying, whether it's right or wrong, it's like I've clicked it, I've had a look, and now I've seen his business, and I see that he's a roofing contractor, and I'm like, there's no way on God's earth I would ever use that guy. Purely because I've seen one post where he's been having a rant, but nevertheless, I've clicked it, I've looked at his profile, I can see that he runs his own business, and I would never have him working on my roof, ever. So he's turned me off. Do you get what I'm saying? So this is why I'm saying to you, when you put your posts out, they want to get engagement, and Rob's post got a ton load of engagement because, as you can imagine, you've got people saying to him, you bang out of order saying this, people are human beings and why can't we all live in peace? Then you've got the other side of them saying, yeah, I agree with you, we need to do this, and this. And I'm thinking, you know, for the 100 comments or whatever it were on there, I'm guessing that at least half of them people have been back to his personal profile and seen that he's a roofing contractor and he's got his own business. Is he going to generate leads from that? No way. So when I ask myself, is this post going to enhance my personal and business brands, or is it going to have a negative effect on it? If I look at it and I think, oh, that could have a negative effect, I'm not talking about politics or anything like that. It could be where I'm stood, what's the background like, what am I holding, you know, all that type of jazz. It could be anything. But you've got to be mindful that people are going to judge you. And if you're running a business, you cannot afford for people to see you in a bad light, in a negative light. And the fact that you're doing this to yourself by putting this content out there, for me, it's just a crime. And then there's the other side of it, isn't it? Where all you seem to put out there is stuff about your business, post content about your business. Another boiler we've fitted, another boiler we've fitted, another boiler we've fitted. Oh, we're working on this job today, this job today, this job today. And all the posts that seem to go out there are all about your business, and it's a bit sleazy, it's a bit salesy, it's a bit too much. Or you're putting content out there that's boring, literally boring. It's never going to get engagement because what you're talking about, you might be interested in that, or you might have got a view on it, But 90% of the population don't care. They're not interested. You're talking about something that nobody's ever going to engage in. Why? Because you've not thought about the content. It's boring. It's not going to stop people in the scroll to take notice of you and your business. Or you're not starting your posts off. Write this down. Get a notepad. Write this down. You're not starting your posts off with an open-ended question. And what I mean by that is you're not starting any of your posts off with the following words. What, when, why, where, who, or how. Because if you start off a post with one of them words, an open-ended question, what, when, why, where, who, or how, whenever you do that, you're always going to get more engagement on your posts because nobody can answer yes or no to that. As they're scrolling, if they see something and people are talking about something and it's a yes or no answer, they're going to answer that in their mind and scroll on. But if it's something where you're actually asking a question that starts with an open-ended question, people are more likely then to go, oh, I'm gonna have my little input on this. And that's exactly what we want people to do. Why? Because we need to engage that algorithm. The more people liking, sharing and commenting is sending that signal out to that platform saying, hey, this is a great post. People are now engaging on it. So we've got to make sure that the content we're creating is relevant to our target market. Or it might be you just talking about what you've been up to that weekend, but it's still engaging. It's still got to be not damaging your brand. It's still got to stop people in the scroll. It's still got to get people liking, sharing and commenting. It's still got to do that, even if it's a personal post about your family weekend. You still got to get engagement. So let me just share with you 6 types of content that you've got to get out for your business, right? Because in reality, there's 16 different types of content that I teach my Inner Circle members to get out. But these are the 6 most important. And if you create these 6 pieces of content in any trades business this works for, this is what's going to start to make the shift in the needle of the algorithm, right? And it's this type of content that your target market are going to stop scrolling to see or watch or listen to. So get your notepads out, get your pens. Number 1 is called clickbait. Write it down, clickbait. And the whole purpose of clickbait content is to literally do exactly what it says on the tin. Use that post as a bit of bait to stop people from scrolling and to actually engage. That's the whole point. That's the whole purpose. It does nothing else other than we want people to engage on this post. Now, let me give you an example. Facebook business pages are boring as hell. And why are they boring? Because somebody's liked your page. So now when you post on your business page, right, if the algorithm kicks in and decides to show that post to that person, which it won't to everyone, but if it does, guess what? It's going to be another post about what it is you and your business are doing. And people are bored to death of seeing posts on business pages. And I don't like or follow any business pages anymore. Even though I get requests every day from people, like my page, like my page, like my page. You've got no way on God's earth I'm going to like your page. Because if I like your page, I know that my feed at some point is going to be full of all the stuff that you're selling and you're doing. And how is that going to benefit me in my life? It's not. It's going to turn me off your business, not turn you on it. because all you're ever posting on your business page is business stuff. Well, try this. The next Friday in your calendar, this is Wednesday when this podcast dropped, right? Every Wednesday, 7 a.m, this podcast dropped. Here's what I want you to do on Friday. If you've got a business page on Facebook, I want you to put a piece of clickbait content out that's got absolutely nothing to do with you or your business. Nothing to do with your business, nothing to do with what you're selling. And if you put a clickbait piece of content out that's got nothing to do with your business, 9 times out of 10, depending on how good the post is, you will get more engagement on a topic that you're talking about that's got nothing to do with your business, but it's on your business page. 9 times out of 10, you'll get more interaction on it. And that's because you're putting things in front of people that's relevant to them, and you're not just trying to ram whatever it is down their throats that you sell. So the next coming Friday, why don't you put something out like this? And you make this question up, this clickbait question up yourself. But if you were to put this on your business page, I bet you get more engagement than you would do on your last post. Right. What are your plans for this weekend? What's everybody up to? And then if you wanted to share what you were up to underneath that, so that you maybe talk about your family or whatever it is you're doing at the weekend that's not business related, where it's showing you as a normal human being and a normal person and not a business person. I'm telling you now, because you've started that post off with an open-ended question, which is designed to get people clicking and replying. That's why we call it clickbait. What are your plans for this weekend? What's everyone up to? Now, tomorrow, as an example, we are going to Alton Towers. Me, Sarah, my 2 youngest kids. It's the last weekend of Alton Towers before it shuts. Big firework display, all that jazz. So we're driving down tomorrow, spending the day at Alton Towers, staying overnight in hotel at Alton Towers, driving back for football on Sunday, right? So if you were to put, what are your plans for this weekend? What's everyone up to? And then I were to go, I'll tell you what I'm up to. Me, Sarah, my 2 youngest daughters, we're off to Alton Towers. Oh, incidentally, anybody been to Alton Towers recently? What's the best ride you can recommend for my kids? I'm telling you now, you've just put some more clickbait questions in the same post. And people are going to go, oh, hang on a minute. I want to tell everybody what I'm up to this weekend, because people love talking about themselves. And then you'll get people telling you what they're up to at weekend. And then you'll get people recommending what rides to go on at Alton Towers. Why? Because you put a clickbait piece of content out there. Are you with me? Try it. Think of a question that you know. Forget about your business. Think about a question that absolutely everybody would want to comment on. It could be anything to do with Christmas coming up. It could be anything to do with holidays. What is common amongst every single person on the planet that they'd want to talk about that is not controversial or going to see you in a bad light, right? Put that on your business page on Friday, right? I'm telling you now, you'll get more engagement. So, number 1, I want you to be putting clickbait content out. Not every day, but maybe once a week on your business page, and maybe twice a week on your personal profile on Facebook, and maybe twice a week on LinkedIn. Yeah, get some clickbait out and let's get people commenting, liking to engage the algorithm. Number 2, you're more than likely doing this at the minute, but before and after pictures, right? Before and after pictures. But what you're not going to do is you're not going to say, oh, this is the old boiler we fitted that we're in this morning. This is the new Valent Worcester Bosch Ideal boiler that we fitted this afternoon. How boring is that? So what you might want to do is, you might want to get you or your apprentice maybe again stood next to that boiler that's coming off the wall and putting your hands in your head as though something like, oh my goodness, this boiler is so dangerous. Do you know what I mean? Do something in the picture. Don't just take a photo of the boiler. Take a photo of you doing something that's going to spike curiosity when people are scrolling. Then in the next picture, you can have a picture of maybe you and your customer having a cup of tea, smiling, stood next to a brand new boiler. Put them side by side and then write a post about what's happened throughout the day. Not, oh, just fitted this new Worcester Bosch boiler. Who cares? Who's bothered? Nobody's bothered that you just fitted a Worcester Bosch boiler. But if you start to tell a story, and in that story post, you put the pain points of what your customer were experiencing and how you've now solved that, you're calling out your target market at the same time as telling everybody this is what the pain points are of this boiler. And if you're experiencing the same type of problems, we're here to help. So it's not just before, after. We think about, what can we do in an image? How can we stop people from scrolling? Can we start the post off with what, when, why, where, who, or how? How can we wrap a story around it? How can we call out our target market in it? How can we put pain points in it that people might be experiencing if their boiler's doing this, and this? Are you with me? You've got to spend a bit of time creating that content and thinking about it. Number 3, write this down. How-to videos, right? Videos where you're showing your target market how to do something. Now, let me just give you a couple of very simple examples, and I'll keep on the boiler plumbing example if you like. So if you did a video of how to top up the pressure on your boiler so you don't have to incur a cost from a heating engineer to come out and just top the pressure up, which will take him 2 minutes. If you were to show them how to do that and you're sharing content like that, what you're actually doing is you're showing you're being transparent. You're showing that you're being an expert. You're showing your authority. They're getting to know, like, and trust you because you're in the video. You're getting to look like an expert and you're getting to look trustworthy because what you're actually doing is maybe doing yourself out of a bit of business because you're showing them how to solve that problem. Now, some people might go away and do it and solve that problem and they don't need you when you've done yourself out of a bit of work. However, do you not think they're going to go, hey, that Craig, he's brilliant, him. Fred, I've top pressure up on boiler and it's working. Listen, go back on that Craig's Facebook page. Has he got a phone number? Has he got a website? Has he got a Facebook business page? Yeah, he has. Right. Write his number down. We're going to keep that. And then you're going to have them that go, do you know what? I'm useless. I daren't touch this boiler. Every time I seem to touch anything or do any type of DIY, it goes wrong. Just get Craig out. He knows what he's doing. Get him out. Are you with me? You might be a Sparky. And this might not be the best example, but I'm just coming out with things off the top of my head. And it might be, battery-powered smoke alarms. There's nothing worse when one of them's beeping, is it? Because it's running out of battery. And you sat there, I'll sort that out later. Well, I don't know why it's beeping. Why is it... John, why is that white thing up there on the ceiling beeping? It's got a light and it keeps beeping. Is it going to blow up? Is it going to catch fire? They might not even know what it is. But if you do a video, listen, if you've got a smoke alarm and it starts beeping, it means this. And it might need the battery changing. So let me show you how to change a battery in a smoke alarm. If you're giving all this valuable knowledge away on these how-to videos, it demonstrates that you're an authority, you're trustworthy, you're reliable, you're honest. You care about people. You don't want to rip people off for coming out and just flipping changing a battery in a smoke detector. People are going to buy into you. Number 4, educational / frequently asked questions that you might get from customers, whereas if you were to create that as a piece of content, whether it be a video, it could be a blog article that you put on your website, and then you share the URL link from that blog article onto social media. So when people click that link on social media, guess where it's taking them back to? Your ultimate sales tool, your website. So for me, when I had my building company, there were videos of me, and I'm going back flipping 10 years ago plus. There were videos of me talking about the rules and regulations around loft conversions, because every loft conversion we did, customers would be constantly asking me the same question. Do we need building regulations for this, Craig? Does it fall under permitted development rights? Do we need planning permission for it? And I found myself constantly repeating to almost every customer all of these regulations. So what did I do? I created a series of videos on all these frequently asked type of questions on, listen, if you want a loft conversion doing and you've not already had an extension, it falls within permitted development. The likelihood is you don't need planning permission, but what you do need is building regulations. Now, let me explain what building regulations is and how either you apply for it, or if you wanted us to do it, we can apply for it for you. And again, by giving this educational knowledge out there, you're doing exactly the same. People getting to know you, like you, trust you, know the way in which you do business. I had videos on everything. One of the other common questions we were asked is, Craig, what's your payment terms? So rather than just repeating it, I did a video that sat on our website that talks about, listen, if you want to use our business, these are our payment terms. We could take a 10% deposit, we take interim payments, and then we leave X amount of pounds back to the end until the job's been signed off by a building inspector. So we're building trust because we're giving all this education away. Are you with me? Now, that doesn't have to be videos. It would be more powerful if it were in video style, because then they're getting to see and hear and look in the whites of your eyes. But that could be a post on social media. That could be a blog article sat on your website. Number 5, case studies, right? Case studies. You need to get case studies across social media. And what I mean by a case study is where you're going to write up, right, a case study on a particular project, right? So hear me out on this one. What you do is on that post, or again, case studies work brilliant as blog articles that are sat on your website. And again, you copy the URL to that blog article sat on your website, and that's what you share across social media, right? But either way, what you do is you call out your target market at the beginning with the pain that they're experiencing, right? So for me, it might have been, or it was, should I say, because we used to do this before I sold my business. It was, right, if you are an expanding family with a growing family and you live in Sheffield in S17, S10 and S11, and you're crying out for more family living space because you've got no room, the kids are on top of you, the bedrooms are a mess, all that lot, what have I just done? I've just called out my exact target market and I've hit them with some pain points. So when people are scrolling and they go, oh, what's that? Oh, let me just click that. And I start off with that. 9 times out of 10, I know they're my target market. Why? Because I've only accepted target market onto my platforms. So they're like, that's me, John, that's us. Listen, we've been talking about moving. We're running out of space. Look at this Craig that keeps popping up on Facebook. He's talking about, are you running out of living space? Oh, kids all on top of you. bedrooms are a mess. You've got no storage space, all that lot. Bang, I've just done it, Anna. So in the case study, you call out your target market at the beginning and then you hit them with a pain point. Then in the write-up of it, you then go into, okay, so that's the pain they had. Okay, then the next thing is, what did you do to solve the pain? So in my case, this might be, okay, I'm with Mrs. Jones and they had a growing family and they were running out of space. Kids' bedrooms were a mess. They got nowhere to put anything. Mr. Jones works from home and he ended up working on dining room table. He's got kids running around, telly, dog barking, pain point, pain point, pain point. Now, they contacted us because they wanted to transform the loft into a master bedroom and ensuite and also home office. And what we did is bang. You tell them what you did to solve the problem. Then what you do is you finish off with what are the benefits or the results that your customer has now got by you solving the problem. And it may well be that I'd then go get Mr. Jones in to a video, stood next to me, and then Mr. Jones would be saying, do you know what? They've done a brilliant job on this loft conversion. I've got the space that I need now to work peacefully from home, away from the kids and the dog and blah, blah, blah. Me and my wife have got a master bedroom with ensuite, so we've been able to move kids' bedrooms into our old bedroom. Honestly, it's made such a difference to our family life. We cannot thank Craig and his team enough. And then what would then be are a series of other images showing the project before, during and after, and then probably me with a photograph of me with the customer at the end with a bouquet of flowers and a bottle of champagne, handing it to the customer, shaking their hand while they're smiling. All building authority and trust with anybody that's looking or reading or watching that case study. And the final one, number 6, which is the most powerful form of marketing for me, is what we call social proof. In other words, stop telling us, Craig, that you're the best at what you do. Let me listen to some of your past customers. So video testimonials of your past customers telling the world how amazing you and your business is, how clean, tidy, on time, on budget, did everything that you promised you'd do. If we can get our customers and turn them into a sales team to sell our products and services for us, you don't need to sell anything because your customers, your past customers, are going to sell it to your future customers. So we need them video testimonials and we need that social proof. Now, you might not have got any video testimonials just yet. So if you haven't, then what you'd do is you'd be sharing your 5-star reviews, whether that be on Google, Trustpilot, Which Trusted Trader. You'd share your reviews or you'd share your video testimonials and your reviews to double back it all up as social proof. So they're the 6 pieces of content I need you to start creating immediately. And when you look across my social platforms and you look at what we do and you look at what I teach my Inner Circle members, you'll see them using these 6 pieces of content everywhere on social media. Mistake number 3 is you're posting your content at the wrong times. Now think about it. If we're going to create this really compelling, engaging content, there's no point in putting it out whenever you get 2 minutes. So you're sat in the van, having a cup of coffee, having some snap, and you decide, right, I'm just going to bang this post out that I've had in my camera roll for the last 2 days. I ain't had time to put out. Well, I've got 2 minutes. Let me just bang it out, right? That's no good. Especially when you're going to be creating this really compelling content that might take you a little bit more time to create. We can't afford to waste it. So we've got to make sure that we're putting this content out at a time where we believe our target market are online in the highest concentration. And if we do that, this stellar, high-end, compelling content should then be put in front of your target market, and we've got more chance of them being able to see it and then engage on it, which then kicks the algorithm in. If you're just going to put it out willy-nilly whenever you've got 2 minutes, we're going to miss that opportunity to put it in front of our target market. So we're defeating the object, aren't we? But I get a lot of people saying to me, well, how the hell am I supposed to know when my customers are going to be online? Surely it's a lottery, Craig. And listen, to a certain extent, we're never going to get it right all the time, are we? We're never going to do that. Everybody's online at different times. Everybody's got different roles, different jobs, different commitments, different time constraints. But come on, we can do as best to get a good gauge of that and then save that compelling content and put it out at those times. So how do we do this then, Craig? How can we find out what are the best times? Well, I'm going to give you 5 different ways that you can find the time out. And then at the end, I'm going to share with you what I believe the vast majority of trades business owners, what I believe you should be putting your posts out at the times. Okay. So let's just go through these. Number 1, it's all about coming back to knowing who your target market really is. Because everybody's got different target markets. And the main difference is, let's say, are they B2B, business to business, or are they B2C? Or you might have a trades business where you do domestic and commercial, so it's both. So the first one really is you using your own logic on your target market. And what I mean by that is this. Let me give you 2 examples. Example 1 is you are a contractor, maybe you're a bricklaying contractor, yeah? And you want it to get in with new house builders that are building, let's say, 200 houses on, 200 plots on a development. And if you could get on that development on price where you can be throwing these houses up, making some decent money, right? If that's you, number 1, what platform do you think you're going to find people maybe like estimators, buyers, maybe contracts managers are a good contact that you need to connect with? That would be your target market. I'm sure it's estimators, buyers, contracts managers that you need to speak to be able to tender or at least get a look in on that job, right? It's not going to be Mrs. Jones next door neighbour, is it? So you're better off going to a platform like LinkedIn. Now, on LinkedIn, if we identify that your target market's on LinkedIn and they are employed as an estimator, buyer or contracts manager, do you think an employed member of staff is going to be online in their highest concentration early in the morning, during the day, or late at night when they should be sat with a wife, husband, or kids? Think about it. They're employed. They're not self-employed. They don't run their own business, so they're not working daft hours like most people do running their own business. They're employed. They probably work 9 while 5, perhaps, right? So the best times, I would say, to post, if you're B2B, looking for estimators, buyers and contract managers on LinkedIn, would be during working hours. So it's probably going to be, so when they switch the laptop on at 9 o'clock, ping, notification pops up, right? So maybe 8 o'clock, for when they switch the laptops on at 9. Maybe they have the lunch around 1 o'clock. So we put a post out at 12. Maybe they just check their emails and the social media before they knock off at 5 o'clock because they're clocking off. They're not working till 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night doing their own pricing because they're employed. So you might want to put another post out maybe about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Are you with me? So the first one is using your own logic based on your target market. But likewise, if it's domestic, right? Domestic may well be, well, I need to put a post out early in the morning so I can catch them before they go to work. I might need to put one out about lunchtime. And for domestic customers, they might be on Facebook at 8 o'clock at night when they sit down having a cup of coffee after Coronation Street. Are you with me? So they'd be different times and a different platform to what the B2B bricklaying contractor needs. So number one is, come on, just use a bit of logic to start off with. Number two, platform insights. Because there's certain platforms, again, platforms such as Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, as an example, that give you data on your followers' activity, which then can help you determine and identify the times that your audience is online in the highest concentration and engaging on your platform. So if you go to your Facebook business page, as an example, you would have thought the people that are following your Facebook business page, you would have thought are your target market. Right, go into your Facebook business page analytics and have a look at all the insights, and that'll give you some good indication on what's happening. Number three, use social media scheduling tools, because social media scheduling tools where you can upload an image or a video as a post into this social media scheduling tool, you can then set the date and the time of when you want that post automatically scheduling to be sent, right? But to help you determine what's the best day of the week, what's the best time of the week, platforms such as Buffer.com, Hootsuite.com, and SproutSocial.com as examples, they actually collect all that data for you. And they'll suggest the best times for you to post your content based on your followers, your target market that the posts are going out to, and previous posts that you've sent out through these social media scheduling tools. And they'll pick up on a trend. And it may well be that Wednesday at 7 p.m. every week is the best time for you to put a piece of quality, compelling content out. And the social media scheduling tools will start to work this out for you. So go and sign up to Buffer.com, Hootsuite.com, or SproutSocial.com and go and start to schedule some posts. Now, you might say, well, Craig, I'd rather put them out organically than using a social media scheduling tool. I get that. But if you start to use the tool initially, it's going to pull the data in and it's going to start to look at these trends. Then it's going to tell you these are the best times for you to post. Then you know. You can switch the tool off. You can unsubscribe from it if you want, but the tool's giving you the data that you needed. Number 4, test and measure. Do your own testing and your own measuring by putting posts out at different times throughout the day, and then go and have a look at it and see which posts at different times of the day get the most engagement. So you might want to put one out in the morning and put it out 2 or 3 times in the morning, 2 or 3 posts in a week, right, in the morning. Then in the same week, put maybe some out about lunchtime and some out maybe tea time or evening, and just have a look and see which times are getting the most engagement, because your own testing and measuring should be able to tell you this. Number 5, ask your customers, right? It's all right trying to second guess everything, but come on, your customers know. So you could, in casual conversation with your customer, just literally ask them and say, hey, Mrs. Jones, can I just ask you a quick question? Yeah, go on then, Craig. You know, on social media, at what time of day would you say you're on social media the most? Would it be morning, afternoon, tea time or evening? And if so, do you know what time you'd be on? Just ask them. Send out an email to all your customers asking them just to send me a 20-second email back with the best dates and times. Most people won't, but some will. And that's where you're going to get the data from. But on top of that, you can use polls on social media platforms such as Facebook stories, Instagram stories, LinkedIn polls. You could put a post out asking this question and get people to vote on it. So ask your customers, because they've got the answers. So they're the 5 different ways in which you can start to pull together the timings. And yeah, listen, it might take you a month, right? From listening to this today, you might say, right, and I need this data within next month. I can't do it like in a day. I can't do it in a week, Craig. There's not enough data. Right, give yourself a month. But in a month's time, if we know what time they're online, and during this month you can start to create some amazing content because you've been away and identified who your target market is, boom. That's where we need to be. Now, from my own research, and again, working with thousands and thousands of trades business owners, particularly on social media, I've done my own research, and I'm going to suggest 3 different times that you might want to post. Now, all right, these might not be the exact time when you do your own research, but to get you going, this is a safe bet. And if you were to ever look at my content, right, you'll see a pattern starting to appear, because I generally only post in these 3 time slots. And I'll tell you why. It's because I know that these 3 time slots, trades and construction business owners are more likely to be online and to be scrolling on the phones during these 3 time periods. And then you tell me if I'm right or wrong, because I know your habits. Now, come on. Everybody's different. I get that. But the vast majority of business owners will do this. So write these times down. Number 1, I always put a post out between 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. because most of my target market, you guys, during the morning, you'll pick your phone up, and usually between 7 and 9, you'll be flicking through social media or checking your emails or looking at your WhatsApps. You'll have your phone in your hand. And for some of you, you just can't resist having a quick look on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. You'll have a snidey little look, right? So I always put a post out between them times. I might put one out at 6 o'clock in the morning to catch the people who are looking at 7. But what I'm saying is 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. is generally a good time for you to also put your posts out. Because if it's Joe Public, B2C that you're after, I'm guessing that most people on social media nowadays will check the phones in the morning around breakfast time. All right? The second time that I post, and I'm going to recommend you do the same, is between 12 and 2 p.m. In other words, lunchtime window. Because I know that when you're working on tools, I know many of you, if you were like I used to be, where I used to be that ultimate busy fool, where I'd work through my lunch, I'd have a cup of tea and I'd be hanging a door and I'd have a sandwich in one hand and my hammer in other, right? Because I never used to stop because I didn't have time. But most people will have a break between 12 and 2. And what do you do when you're sat in van or sat in customer's house or sat on site in a cabin? What do you do? Over lunch, you go on social media. So I need to capture you then. So lunchtime window. The next one is the final one that I would post in. And this is between 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. Now, I accept that you might be on your phone at 8 or 9 o'clock, but if I've posted at 7 p.m, you're probably still going to see my 7 p.m. post if you're scrolling at 9 o'clock at night. So a safe bet is 5 p.m. to 7, and you're going to catch all them people who are on the way home from work. You're going to catch all them people that are cooking tea that just pick up the phone when tea's on. And you're going to catch all them people that are just settling down now. Maybe they've put kids to bed and they're just settling down for their evening, right? You'll catch them as well. So I make a strict pact with me and my team that they're the times that we have to post every day. Now, if we decide to put more than 3 posts out a day, which we do across all our different platforms, there'll be more than 3 posts to go out. If we do, then we'll sandwich those posts in between them 3 times. But ultimately, them 3 times are our Bible, and I suggest that you start off until you get the data with those 3 times. So if you were to just literally start off with getting these 4 things smartened up, your brand, your target market, your content, and the times that you post. That is the foundation level, if you like. That is the level that we need to be at to continue to build our social media marketing strategy on top of that. But if we can't get these 4 foundations right, anything else that I'm going to teach you about social media, and believe me, there's a lot more strategies I'm going to share with you, but there's no point in you doing the other strategies if you haven't got these basic 5 things right. Are you with me? So let's get working on getting these right. So your action tasks from this session, right, are those 4 things. Number 1, I want you to look at your business branding, your personal branding, and how your platforms are currently set up. Get your platform set up correctly, get all your images on, get all your links on, so people can see instantly what it is you do, just like they would do if they were on your website. Number 2, you're going to get laser focused on who that target market is by listening to episode number 11, where I share those 9 characteristics. Number 3, you're going to start to create that compelling content with the 6 different forms of content I've shared with you, and that's where you're going to make a start. And number 4, you're going to work out the times where your target market's online in the highest concentration, but in the meantime, you're going to be posting the morning, the afternoon, and the evening window times that I've just shared with you. Now, consistency is one of the big keys to unlock social media. So if you're not consistent, and when I say consistent, I mean posting every day. You've got to get a post on whatever platforms your target market are hanging out on every single day. And if it's compelling enough, we can soon re-engage that algorithm, and the algorithm will soon come back and kick in. But there's no point in re-engaging your algorithm for you to then go, oh, I'm busy, I ain't got time to post on social media, Craig, because you're going to build your algorithm back up. And then when you don't have time to post and you start missing or posting 2 or 3 times a week, your algorithm's going to be shot again. So the idea with this is you maintain consistency. So put time in your default diary. Block 10 minutes out, block 15 minutes out every single day at a set time. And that's the time that you're going to use to create your content and get it out on social media. But without that consistency, you're going to be up, you're going to be down. 1 month you're going to be flooded with leads. Next month you're going to have none. It's going to be like feast or famine. We don't want that. We want consistency of leads coming through every time. But to achieve that, you've got to be consistent with your social media, and you've got to be consistent across the marketing, full stop. And finally, just another quick reminder to join our priority waiting list to get exclusive access to our new membership, our new platform, and our secret community by clicking on the link in the description of this episode. And also, if you're still not a member of our free Trades Freedom Club Facebook group and community, where I share a lot more content inside of our Facebook group that's going to help you in all different areas of your business. If you're not already a member, again, click the link inside the episode description. Come over to our Safe and Thriving Facebook group and community. Come and meet us all, and let's give you some help and support every day inside our Facebook group. Remember, you don't have to see the full staircase. You just need to take the first step. Catch up with you on next week's episode, and I'll meet you at the top. Thank you.